Greetings, gamers. This is Dr. Eileen, the Gaming Doc, and this is your place and your space to laugh, to chat, to chill, to hang out, to take a moment, to take a break, to take a breath, and say it's Saturday. And it is a very, 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 very rainy Saturday here in beautiful Staten Island, New York. And it has just been a time. It has been a space. It has been a lot of rain. And if you are out in the elements, please, 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 please be careful, because it's often a lot harder to deal with things, in emergency situations than at first they seem. It's like, oh, I can be able to do this. I can drive down that road, and then the next thing you know, you're getting fished out by the local police. And we have our gold medalist, Iron Eagle, my Eagle of Iron, hashtag Doxagoomer, making it a thing. Goomer, gaming boomer. And we will not be, I know it is normally Survival Saturday, but we will not be, doing gaming because, as you can see from the box and the little black things on the outside, I am on my laptop still. And on Monday, I will be moving into my new digs, my new place, and I will be doing my first stream from my new place Monday evening, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Iron Eagle, how are you, my dear? What is up? What is happening? What's the buzz? Tell us all about it. And so because we're on the laptop, I only have the one screen, although I will eventually be getting a new laptop, and I want one of those tri-fold screen things that you can slide on, and it gives you like 3 screens on your laptop. That'll be fun. Anyway, however, and we are hanging out today. It is a rainy day outside, and for those of you who have been hearing in the news about what's been happening, some areas of New York are getting a lot of rain. My area is okay. We're high enough above, and we don't have anything right next. I'm okay, except the new person we have here keeps slapping my backside. Excuse me. That is a violation of personal space, and my dear Iron Eagle, I would say that sucker needs to be nipped in the bud pretty quick. It's like, no, you do not place your hands on me. So, yeah, that is a very weird thing. And I know it's like, the whole football greeting and all of that stuff, but that was like back in the 70s. Folks do not need to be putting their hands on each other at this point. And, I'll be talking to whomever I need to. And Mr. Harmless, I'm here in Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee, absolutely lovely, wonderful place to see in the fall. Reloading my thing with water. And I spent a year living in Nashville, which was very, very fun. And so how is the weather doing there? Because we've got the up here in New York, we've got a whole lot of weather going on. Otherwise, it will be a swift backhand. You know what? As we used to say, 5 in the eyes. But yeah. What was the other thing we used to say? Slap the taste out of someone's mouth. Not that we would, support violence, but further across the eyes. Not sure. We really haven't been long. Yeah, it is, because I know different areas are having, different types of weather, except for California. My former home, they seem to be doing pretty well. But yes, so we're visiting Tennessee. I spent time in Knoxville, Clarksville, Nashville. I think I covered all of the vills. But I hope you're having a lovely time there. I hope that, you're greeting people and having a chance to have a good time. It's actually been a very, very busy weekend. And, I needed to get my stuff packed together. The owner of the house, the lovely Airbnb that I'm staying at, needed to pull up the carpet, so I was going to be leaving on Friday, But it turns out that the place I'm going wasn't going to be the room wasn't going to be ready until Monday, so that's why I'm staying through the weekend. So I helped him get the carpet pulled up, which was, it wasn't so bad. I mean, a little bit of hard labor is a beautiful thing. And so that is what's going on for me. And oh, by the way, Mr. Harmless, who is our silver medalist, the second one into the stream, who will take the bronze, and have mercy, Daddy comes in to take the bronze medal. The first 3 people into the stream. Have mercy, Daddy, congratulations. You are a medalist. And just like the Olympics, stand upon your risers, wrap yourself in your national flags as we play your national anthems. What? Yeah, yes. The first 3 people in the stream are our Olympic medalists. I just said the word blahaj. Okay. I'm not sure what blahaj means. It sounds like an interesting word. Give me some background on it. Yay. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're walking gently with the world and the world is walking gently with you. I hope that whatever the weather is in your area, it is a beautiful fall, because we are in fall. Summer is officially over, which means we are getting ready as of tomorrow. We're in October. Rorg. It's IKEA shark plush. That need I say more? Ah, that's right, the IKEA plush. If it makes you happy, I love it for you. And I actually, when was the last time I was in an IKEA? It has been probably close to a decade since I've been in an IKEA. So, yep, I should check it out. I was told that I needed to check out IKEA and, what is it? What is it? REI, the big sporting store. Yeah, they call them Lahaj. Neat. That's a cool name. And Rorg. So, anyway, I think because it's a Sweden company. Do they have meatballs? See, that's the thing. Oh my God, I love Swedish meatballs. They are so good. And being able to figure out what we're doing and how we're doing it. We're beginning the weekend, which, like I said, tomorrow is the beginning of October, which means, my dears, only 3 months left of 2023. And for those of you who have had quite enough of 2023 and who are ready to say hasta la bye-bye to 2023, you've only got 3 more months. We can do this. Hold my hand. And Mims! Mims! Our wonderful, wonderful Mims! Good afternoon, Doc. Good afternoon! Oh, Mims World. Talk Mims Universe. Our Mims Universe instead of Miss Universe or Mr. Universe. Mims Universe! Yes! You've got amazing news. I must have the amazing news. The amazing news must be a thing. It must happen in my life. I don't know what I would do without it. Amazing news for the last day of September? What is it? And I figured today could be just kind of where, we hang out, we catch up, we talk. You talk. If there's something that you'd like to share, if there's something you'd like to ask, feel free to. Oh, and I will be streaming after, we'll do our time here, and then I will be going over to Kick to stream afterwards. So it is always so fun I'm kind of getting used to that. It's like this double duty type of thing. But it is fun. My insurance has given the go for top surgery the surgeon has from October 8th till December 9th to perform it. Oh my goodness, Mims, I am so happy for you. Oh my dear, that is truly a reason to celebrate. Oh my, I am so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you too. Because going through a process in order to affirm you as your own self, and for you to be able to allow your vision of yourself to be what you show to the world. And I am so happy for you, my dear. Oh, awesome. And when you get scheduled, make sure, you let us know, so that day we can all be putting our thoughts and positive energy out to surround you with love, and that the whole process be swift, painless, absolutely perfect, and completely everything you hope for. Sam, we've got Hey Doc. So, and whoever it is we are addressing in that beautiful, amazing, wonderful collective of a system of our wonderful Sam, hello. And I've been smoke-free since the first week of June, so Surgeon has no reason not to. Fist bump high five for smoke-free. Congratulations. Absolutely. June, July, August, September. Almost 4 months. Nice. Oh, see, that takes conviction. That takes tenacity. Good for you. Good luck with the surgery. Oh, yes, absolutely. This is a wonderful thing, and it's wonderful news. So, and as always, see, I know Jay's not going to be here yet, so I don't have to tell him to plug his ears. If you are a streamer, please feel free to talk about your streams in the chat. We want to know what you stream, when you stream, why you stream, how you stream. Are you streaming on more than one platform? Are you working on a goal? Are you working on affiliate? Are you working on partner? Hashtag Pat the Partner. This old lady. Ow, I just hit my glasses. My glasses. And if you are thinking about streaming and you want to ask some questions about it, feel free. We usually have lots of folks hanging out with lots of different levels of experience, and the rising tide raises all ships, so we can help one another out. And by helping one another out, we always make the entire platform better. And when we are able to assist one another and to and maybe you're not a new streamer, not sure if you should start. Maybe you're a more experienced streamer who's not sure if you should continue. I mean, a lot of people hit that point where it's just that energy is just really hard to maintain, and maybe you start thinking, wow, it's not going the way I had hoped, and maybe I should stop. So if it is about that, you've got a joint stream coming up. Teaching them to play Faz on Tuesday. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, Mims. Please make sure you put that over in the section on promote yourself section, and and you can let us know who you'll be doing the joint stream with, so we can make sure. Do you have a time? Is there already a time set? What time zone is it going to be in? Inquiring minds want to know. I can't stream though. Well, you know what, sweetie? Maybe just not right now. Maybe one day you will be able to, and it's about choosing. And if you ever do decide to, then yay, welcome to the party. And if you maybe don't think that's something that is going to be in the picture for a while, that's okay too, because it's always wonderful to have folks come in and support other streams. Today I made new friends. Yes! It is always so fun to make new friends. They have the same energy as me. Oh, those are the best ones to find. See, when you find friends like that, absolute nonsense ensues. I plan to, lol. I met him via a different game. We stream 3 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 to 8 p.m., my usual time bracket, and I should be on a brand new computer. Fist bump high five for brand new computers. Yes, I will be, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that on Monday I will be moving into the place that I will be at for the foreseeable future. I found a really nice room that's available on Craigslist. And I mean, fingers crossed. Everybody says, like, oh, you found it on Craigslist, it's probably a scam and all that other stuff. I don't think so, but we'll see. We will have to see. So that's not a problem. I just talk about, man, Overwatch. It's chaos. Yeah. I tried, but it's scary to just sit in front of the camera talking to people I don't know and wondering who will hate me first. You know what, my dear Sam, and like I said, if there's a particular that I'm talking to, otherwise I will figure I'm speaking to Sam. Yeah, it can be very, very, very scary. And it's something that after a while, the scary kind of goes down. But I mean, it's always, let's keep it 100. I want to be total full disclosure. I mean, there's a little bit of part of me that is like, oh, okay, here we go. I've got to take a few deep breaths before I start streaming. And I've been doing this a really long time. So it is Sam. If anyone else is here, I think you'd know. Well, I would know if the name gets put up. It's since I can't see you, I would probably know if I could see you. But since I can't, but that's why everybody is so wonderful about putting their names. But yeah, it is, and there's always those people who are going to be kind of feisty. And it's about making sure that you know your own value, because that is a really important thing. And it was something that I posted on Twitter today. Or X, I just call it Twitter, but it's supposed to be X. So the idea that the number one person who needs to accept us unconditionally is us. And once we're able to achieve that, once we're able to to really embrace our own value, that means validation from other people is nice, but not necessary. When we can validate ourselves, and it does take a lot of work. It is really hard, and that is something absolutely baby steps, and it is something to work on. I just talk about, Overwatch. Yep. Let's see. I am hyping. The new comp should be here either tomorrow or Monday. Oh, it is so fun when new equipment arrives. I do want to get a new laptop. This laptop is probably almost as old as some of you. And the fact that it works as well as it does, it's like, yay! But I do want to get another laptop because I want one of those things that you slide on it and you can open up and you have 3 screens on the laptop. I thought that would be awesome. Let's see. I do not use a camera yet and I have not for the last year and 3 months of streaming. You don't need to be on cam to stream. Yep. Just talk to chat and play your game like you're hanging out with friends. Yep. Banhammers have a place in the hands of safe and trusted mods. Yep. And the thing is that, having kind of that backup and that support, it's a little bit more challenging when you're doing it yourself. But then again, there's some people who've been doing it long enough to where they're totally comfortable with it and they don't worry about missing anything. Such a simplistic name, X. Well, and the thing is that the logo makes me think of, like, in California, one of the main cable companies is called Xfinity, and they have almost the same logo. So it's like I look at it and I think of Comcast Xfinity. Let's see. I vote for Twitter to come back. Me too. I miss the little bird. I like the little bird. Because then it makes sense when you say tweet. Because birds tweet. And X does not tweet. So now they have to make up a new word for that. Apparently, my oldest son was telling me that the reason it's still twitter.com is because of the fact that apparently when they decided to change it to X, nobody thought to get that as a domain name, and now they can't. Which I wish I was surprised that there were oversights in that. I'm about to have an argument with Elon Musk. You go get him, have mercy. You go, Lord have mercy. You go get Elon. Easy for a lot of people, yes, but not for us. And being a system, it takes too much time to be in control of yourself. Rella, well, hello, Rella. Yeah, and check in, like, do a search for because I know that there are actually several systems that are in fact streaming, and what you can do is you can search the hashtag. It's like you go to like Twitch, the main page, and then you search hashtag DID, and you can actually see there are actually several streamers who are a part of systems. So check them out. I think that would be really cool, and I also think those are good communities for you to be able to come into, because it's an entire community of people who really understand the special world of being a system. So I would definitely systems. I'm Xing someone. Xing or asking. Systems, yes. Systems is a term that is used for those who have, or who are a part of the DID community, dissociative identity disorder, where more than one consciousness exists in one body. So yes. And they have, and there's like some really, really cool streamers, and they interact and all of that. So my dear Rella, you talk to the rest of the system about it, but I would definitely go and check out and follow some of these streamers, because they're really, really cool. I would love in the near future to be able to join something called VTubing. Yes. Oh my gosh, those little things, the little animation that they use are so cute. Do they still call them avatars? I think it's like you call it an avatar. Oh my God, there are some of them that are so freaking creative. And now I have heard that to really develop a good one, those are a bit on the pricey side, because of the fact that, there have to be like, animation based on, that as the camera is watching the person and their mouth move, that the avatar's mouth and gestures are similar. And apparently that is quite the tricky bit of programming. I mean, and as someone who honestly believes that elves make my computer work, it is completely over my head. I'm still not entirely sure what the cloud is. So I'm old. But yes, and in fact, when I went to TwitchCon last year, and I met some VTubers, and it was just so cool, speaking with them and getting to know them, and it was so interesting because there were so many of them that were like, okay, yeah, I'm around people. I'm around a lot of people. And so they didn't want really people to connect them to their streams, because there would be that whole face reveal aspect, which I think would probably be a really kind of a challenging thing. We got a new member to the Chaos Crew, by the way. Yes. Made a new friend, and she ended up getting along with the rest of the crew and tends to go and check out all of our streams. Nice. So after she joined, into a couple of streams, we took a vote and made it official. Oh, that is so cool, Mims. And to have somebody new and welcome them in, and and because that's something I really enjoy doing whenever we have a chance to have someone new in the community, and to appreciate that and to have them feel welcome. I've talked to a lot of people, and and I'm so touched because they say, wow, we come into your stream and you're always making people feel welcome. You say by name and you address them, and and it's a very comfortable thing to come in, and especially for some who come in and it's like maybe they want to talk about something in particular, and that, people feel safe to do that, which, I mean, I'm very, very touched. I'm so happy that people feel safe coming into the stream and just kind of being themselves. But that is so neat. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that she was very excited. Yeah, there are a few, but it's not an easy thing. Is all I'm just saying. Just need to have that same mindset to get off those frequent triggers, and need to learn that, and communication is a thing, right? Myself or Sam or anyone could talk to anyone, but one thing that scares me is the little showing up. Yep. I mean, and that is a valid thing, and being able to manage that. And I mean, and quite honestly, I think that it would be very cool. I mean, whether the system is comfortable streaming, and the thing is, you don't have to. And being able to, whether or not that's something that might be a thing somewhere down the road, by watching some of these other streamers and see how they manage it, see how they work with it, how that flow exists. But I mean, it's entirely up to you guys. You absolutely never, ever, ever have to do anything that you don't feel as a group that you don't feel comfortable with. Who do you meet? Because I want to know how it feels to live my dream. She found us to be fun and safe feeling, which I'm so glad for the fact that we can create that safe feeling. Yeah, I wanna, what VTubers did you meet? Oh my gosh, it's, first off, I'm old and trying to remember which ones, and it's like we followed each other. Oh my goodness, I can't remember names because they're all in my follower thing. But I will find out. I will go look up my list of followers and figure out who it was that I met. I mean, there were so many different people, and the names all just sort of merged together. So, but I will have mercy, Daddy. I will find out, and I will figure that out. I'll go back through and take a look and see which ones were the ones that I met. But I mean, it was like there must have been like a good dozen of them. And and that is the thing. When I was talking to I think it was Snoring Bush, who was on the stream talking about like VTubing, and could you give me a description of their avatars or something? I mean, sweetie, it's like, some of them were like, they look like animals. One was kind of looked like a fox. Others, they were just people. Some of them were like anime cosplay types of things. I mean, okay, have mercy, Daddy. Consider an event that you went to a year ago. Name the people you met at that, like, a big event, or if you went to a concert or something like that. Name the people that you met a year ago at any given event. So but it's just that there were so many. There were over 10,000 people there. And, and I was going through and meeting and talking with a lot of different people. And once you get over 60, memory is very difficult. But I will go through the follower list, because we're following each other. And, which is at almost 1,400. I'm so excited. So, yeah. Would you like to name specifics about one out of 1,400 people? Fox, yeah, there was one that was a fox. Or maybe it was a dog. Maybe it was a fox or a dog. One was sort of a Pokemon-looking one. But most of them were just, like, different versions of themselves. So, it would be, it would just look like a person. World new here, and hello to you, and chat, it's been a while, I guess. Ellie, hey Ellie, how are you? Sumasuki, hi Doc. Well, hi Sumasuki. Held message, okay, we're gonna allow that. I'm not quite sure. Let's see, it's been a while. It has been. Let's see. I slip into chat here and when I get a little bit of time, so we may not have met yet. Doc knows I'm running my stream, working with our streams group and modding, raising 2 kids, trying to get them through school. Oh, fist bump high five for raising kids. Was there an orca-looking girl? You know what? Was it an orca or a narwhal? It might have been a narwhal. There was one that had like a narwhal, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because yes, there was. There was one that had a narwhal, and I remember because it was like narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion, because they are so awesome. So I saw that, and I remember that song. So yes, there was definitely one that was like a narwhal. But yes, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And that is Mims. I'm so glad you brought that up, because there is that whole thing of a lot of streamers are trying to be able to find that balance, because it's not just about streaming. It's about streaming. It is about if you're wanting to turn your stream into something that is a business, it's about the business end of your streaming. It's about promotion. It's about taking time with your family. It's about taking time with your job. It's about, making sure you have enough time off to where you can have some balance and you have your downtime. So, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because it can be it can be a thing when you're really working on trying to build something, and at the same time, it's not the only thing that you've got going on. I just finished streaming a little bit ago. Yay! I had an awesome stream playing Genshin and panicking like crazy because I can't fight well and I'm still adjusting to the laptop. You know what, sweetie? Proud of you. That is I am so proud of you. That is, fist bump, high five. Yes! Oh, I made some emotes for my subs, by the way. Want to see the one most are after? Sure, that would be great. You're a busy dude, and I hate school. Hey, Ellie. And, yep, my kids hate the schoolwork, which since they are homeschooled, that is basically all it is for them. Social is separate entirely from school for them. Yes. And there's so many more kids who are... there's homeschooling, and then there is online schooling, because it is, it can be a tough thing. And, okay, in the background, there's a vacuum cleaner going, so apologies, I'm sure it will stop soon. But if you hear, like, loud buzzing in the background, sorry, that's it. I guess Saturday is vacuuming day here at the Genshin is old. Oh, hey, just because a game is old does not mean it's not still awesome. And actually, it is really smart to stream a game like, maybe kind of one of those, fun flashback type of gaming things. Because what happens is, let's say, Sumasuki is streaming a game, let's say Genshin was like really big or whatever a year or so ago, or a couple of years ago. What happens is that if people see your Englishing, yep, vacuum cleaner. Like I said, it'll stop soon. Anyway, but if people see you streaming a game that they remember, it's like, oh my god, I remember that game. That is something that can actually draw people in. Playing classic games or playing the games, kind of like, Throwback Thursday type of thing. So when you play something that other people can relate to or that they used to play, it actually is a great, great way to draw people in because everybody wants the nostalgia. Malreth is a character I play on Storm's D&D stream. Oh my gosh, that is, I was playing, we were playing a D&D. We started playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, in the mid-70s. AD&D came out, like, I was in my junior year of high school when AD&D came out. So we started playing that. Fist bump, high five for anybody who remembers. Gygax. Yes, the original Player's Handbook and Monster Manual. That's all you had. Well, you had the little supplement books called the Ardun Grimmer. But, and then the the Dungeon Master's Guide came out, but yes, back then it was AD&D. So, and in fact, the place I'm going to be moving into, they actually stated in their Craigslist ad for the room that every Saturday they play Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, oh my god, it'd be so cool to play again. Let's see, I posted his emote for you in case it scrolled too fast and you missed him. Hold on. Oh, there it is! Ooh, that's detailed. I like it. Oh my goodness, the detail on this is so cool. Ooh, goodness, burps. That is so cool. Done vacuuming. That is neat. I wouldn't say that Genshin Impact is old. Technically, it's only 3 years, but I can see your point. Yep, I'm no gamer. I'm more like a chat and do random stuff to annoy people kind of girl. Ellie, hey, there is definitely a place for that in the World Wide Webverse, in the Twitchverse. And as most of you know, I'm also streaming on Kick. And that is something that is, and I know, there's a lot of controversy right now around the platform and all of that, and there's some folks pulling some shenanigans and being generally very unpleasant. So I have had people who have contacted me and said, hey, Doc, you do understand that this is not, there's some really, bad folks over there. And it's like, yeah, I'm afraid that there are. And every platform has that. And I choose to kind of reserve judgment and see what they do with this. And considering that Kick only started up like near the beginning of the year, Twitch has been, it's been like 12, almost 13 years. So being able to have time to figure out, okay, how do we manage this? How do we manage that? So I will still continue to, for the time being, I will still continue to stream on Kick. And if it turns out that it is, just, nope, this is not my kind of playground, then I'll make that decision. If you're okay with answering, I was curious if you have DID. Yes, just curious because I have DID and I find it nice to find others with it. Yes. Sumisuki. Yes, Samarella is a system, and what we do is for those who are systems, if the one who is speaking shifts, just put at the end of the statement the name. So that way we can be respectful and address accordingly. Listen, me, my usual stream partner, my fiance, and our new member, we're all bickering over the storage boxes on 7 Days to Die being weird named and mixed up. A whodunit till we realized none of us were the culprit and suddenly we were talking conspiracy theory. Oh my goodness. 7 Days to Die, which combines two things that I am not comfortable with in a game: zombies and time limits. Oh my goodness. So, yeah. That's it. He's like, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did it. Wait a minute. None of us did it. Who could have snuck into the hosted game unnoticed and messed with us? Oh, the game is afoot. I sense a mystery. I only saw some pulling is tiny, and they don't even have that much of a mod thingy. Yeah, it is. There is a lot of very interesting folks out there, Ellie, and yes, there is. It's a thing. So being able to assess, being able to go, okay, do I have enough evidence in my mind to make what I believe is an informed decision? And it is really important because our choice is probably one of the most valuable things we have. And there is a lot we can't choose. We cannot choose what the weather is going to do. We cannot choose what other people are going to think about anything we do or what they're going to say about anything we do. We cannot control what big politicians are doing with whatever their big political things are. We cannot control what it is that, gets put into motion that we don't know about. And what we can choose is how we respond to it. And not only can we choose it, it is our responsibility as to what we choose. And that is a very big thing to step up to take full ownership of our actions and our choices, knowing that yes, it's based on something else, but are we choosing as a reaction, or are we choosing from a place of informed choice? And sometimes that can be a little bit tricky, and sometimes it's hard to get all the information we need. And I usually like to take my time. I spent 20 years as a doctor, and when trying to figure out what was going on with someone, it usually took some time. And for me to just make a snap decision, I think this is what's going on. No. If I get an idea as to what's going on, then it is my job to narrow it down, to go, okay. And usually what I do is okay, here's my top 3 choices as to what's going on with this person. It could be this, this, or this. Then through testing and question and evaluation, I figure out, it's okay, what can I take off that list until I narrow it down to what my working diagnosis is. And for anybody who, ever sees a doctor or whatever, there is no diagnosis that can be made until you see how the person responds to treatment. That is what gives you your actual diagnosis. Anything before that is a working diagnosis. And you don't know whether or not that working diagnosis is right until you see how they respond to treatment. Doctor thing. Let's see. Noted. Currently, I know that there are 2 people nearby, but I'm fronting currently. Suma. Hello, Suma. It's such a delight to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And, and as with all of our systems, we want to get to know you, each of you, for you. So, yeah, it's always a delight to meet new people. It's Ellie and not Sam. Also, I kind of love your mindset there, Mims. We're a system and still have DID. I reckon it doesn't go off just because we come out. Yep, and I would guess that, there are many different ways that can manifest. I don't believe I have DID, but I understand it a bit. I create characters when I roleplay who become their own person. I no longer have control over what they do, what they say, how they react. They make all their decisions, and mentally I can even interact and argue with them. There are over 1,000 of them in my head, and each one is unique with their own stories to tell and opinions, and so to a degree. I get systems. That's the closest to what my characters are like to me. Ads. Yes. So, and I would believe, in discussions that I've had with members of that community, that it doesn't manifest or present the same way in each person. So there's a lot of nuances to how that works. I would never say I understand completely, but it is very similar. Probably in some cases, yes. And the idea that, this is a being, and probably the biggest difference would be is that, as you have the characters, that first off, where those characters came from, and that they have a particular parameter. And if at any time those characters, say, were to present without your choosing it, that it's not something that you would enter into, or that it's a conscious thing. It is at any given moment, another character would present whether you choose it or not. And so, it's not a character or like an RP thing for anyone with DID. That's the reason we're called alters and not personalities or characters. Yeah. These are actual full-on beings. They are each a consciousness. And so, and that's why we want to go out of our way to be really, really respectful. And, and that's why I ask that people make sure that, they will add their, that whoever is, the one who is speaking in that moment, that they let us know that there's a change or a shift, and who we're addressing, because each one is different. So it's like having a conversation with a different person. Mimosa is like a constant voice in my head no matter what I'm doing, and I allow him to say his piece with people I'm comfortable with, but they are aware of me and me of them. Yeah. And in some cases, there is that awareness can vary. So it may be that this consciousness exists and not all of the other system members have been introduced yet. So, it's a tremendously fascinating study, and I would guess, just from discussions I've had, that there's actually spectrums to it. So being able to, it's sort of like those with, let's say, Tourette's syndrome. Not everyone presents in the exact same way. There are spectrums to it, to where some present in a particular way, some present in a different way. So, it is, I'd say probably, from discussions, that primarily it is a choice. That choice is probably one of the key pieces to it. Whether or not it is a full-on consciousness, or whether it's a separate aspect of the person. So the idea that if another being is an extension of the primary being, or if it's a totally separate alter, which is an entirely separate consciousness. There's so much. There is so much to unpack in that. And the thing is that studies are constantly being done. More information is coming out because of the fact that, I honestly think there's probably more cases of it than most people believe, and therefore now that it's coming out more and more and more, that there is more focus on it, that it is not simply, what it was viewed, let's say, back in the 1970s, back in the 1960s, because that was a totally different thing. So I find it amazing. And Plant Witch Willow, hi, hello friends, it's been a long time. It's been a dog's age. It's been, what, about 3 months, I think? Has it been about 3 months? 4 months maybe. The last time you were in, I think it was before I moved, which was back in July. So, hey, how are you? What is up? What is happening? We hope you're walking gently in the world. The world is walking gently with you. Fill us in on what has been up. And we all walk in this world in a different way. And it is about recognizing that everyone is having a unique experience. And by being able to talk about the experiences we're having, we have an opportunity to educate and to allow other people a little teeny tiny peek into our own worlds. And I think that is a very, very, very cool thing. I think it is something that increases not only understanding, but it also increases tolerance and acceptance. Because for the longest time, the idea of certain things and certain ways that people walk in the world, everything was hidden. Nobody talked about it. If there was anything that made you different from anybody else, you didn't talk about it. And the fact that now there's an opportunity for people to speak up, and I think that that is really, really cool. Let's see. I know my therapist said she was not sure if it was DID, but I do actually disassociate in public places. Well, then maybe it is. My emotions turn off and I'm on autopilot. What I do is more like I have a sort of internal options menu. Instead of just actually reacting. It's been a good few months. I'm getting, oh my dear. The world has not been walking gently with me, nor I with it, but it's all gentler than it was for certain. Oh, my sweet. Welcome to the party, pal. And I'm sorry. I really am. That is a very big change to happen. And I honestly pray that it be as gentle, swift, and without pain or fear as possible, because there's going to be some. And sometimes when a spiritual contract is complete, there's some really amazing stuff on the other side of it. And it is important to grieve. Being able to go through the grief process, no matter what the circumstances. Even if it's something, it's like, you know what, this is really for the best. If that's the perspective of it, it is still something we grieve. And, when I was faced with my whole world changing after 20 years of being with someone, it is kind of a weird thing, because it's like the world you knew no longer exists. And you sit there and go, now I have to build a new one. And that can be very tricky. I'm so thankful to be able to talk with others and let them know, hey, I'm not the same, but I kind of get what you're describing. Absolutely. Let's see. Agreed. I think that sharing yourself and your experience with others is one of the most beneficial and beautiful things we can do. Absolutely. Because again, it fosters understanding. It is an opportunity. And sometimes it is. It's really hard because sometimes people, depending on what their personal experience is, sometimes folks can get very defensive. Sometimes, sometimes it's stressful. And, by being able to approach it gently, and I mean, nobody ever has to discuss anything here that they don't feel comfortable with. And, you guys can share whatever it is that you choose to share, and whatever it is, it's going to be safe here. So being able to find that common ground and accept that if somebody is asking something, it's not about being hurtful. It is about a genuine desire for knowledge. And you guys are always so wonderful about sharing things. When I go out, I haven't had a day, I haven't got triggered. One thing with myself is I want who's going to show up or what's going to happen, that uncertainty. When I have the triggers, I have no control over those triggers, and it just happens. Yeah, sweetie. And I would imagine that's a very, very, very challenging way to walk in this world, and I'm so very proud of you that you still show up in this life and do your best to take care of one another. Thank you, Doc. It's been relatively amicable so far, and we've both met new people, moving forward, trying to move forward together where possible. Yeah. I mean, it's really crazy because, quite honestly, my husband, I don't call him my ex-husband, I call him my husband. He was my husband, now he's my husband. My husband is an amazing man who is the father of my sons, and therefore was a part of the most amazing, wonderful parts of my life. And it reached that point where we honestly had to stop being married in order to save our friendship, because we had known each other since I was in kindergarten and he was in first grade. We lived a house down from each other. So we knew each other most of our lives. And, there was a lot to unpack there. And it reached a point where that road that we traveled together was meant to split. And the thing is, once it did, amazing things opened up in my life. And he was able to experience some peace in his. I was changing in a way, and I was growing in a way that he could not accept. And he was at least honest with me about that. I had to make a choice between choosing the me that I wanted to become and staying the me that he could feel safe with. And I had to choose me. I had to choose to allow myself to grow and experience. And, we formed agreements as to how we were going to manage it. And, there were certain days when either one or both of us was not in our happy place. We were each in our grieving process. So if it was one of those days when it was not a good part of the grieving process, we agreed, okay, we don't talk during those days. And no matter what, we would always be the parents of our sons. And we didn't want them to suffer for this any more than they were going to. So it's a tricky thing to manage, but it is not impossible. And my wonderful plant witch Willow, the willow is my spirit tree. So, I'm very, very proud of you. I can't handle going out. It causes a mental emotional breakdown. Yeah. I turned to streaming in hopes of making it my job. Very cool, because this is the closest to social environment I'm okay with. Well, I think that's a wonderful thing to be able to find that outlet. Colin, how are you? I are cool and even a little better now that you're here. Hey. Husband is a great term. Yep. Husband said something similar. We both reach a point where we stop being able to grow together. It may sound silly or early perhaps, but I might be falling in love again. Good for you. Maybe it's early doors. I think that my husband is too. You know what? Once we allow a spiritual contract, because I do think of it as a spiritual contract that we have with every person in our life, even our pets. There are spiritual contracts, there are agreements. And every contract has a point when it is fulfilled. And when my marriage ended, and it was like 2 weeks before our 20th wedding anniversary, it was, it reached that point where it's like, yeah, it hurts. And there is a feeling of being complete. And I did get sort of a premonition 10 years before that was the point that our marriage would end. Although I kind of thought it was because one of us was going to die. So, I did not see that coming. But the thing is, he moved on with his life. He is with a wonderful woman who is tremendously dear to me. And when we see each other, we celebrate. We can talk, we can be comfortable. Most people, it's like, you guys are so weird, because we were the couple that had the best marriage. Everybody swore that we had the best marriage. Most people said we had a better marriage than their own. So we went from being the best marriage to the best divorce. But no, it does not sound silly at all, because thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you again and grateful to be here with all of you. Well, we are grateful to have you here, my dear Willow. It is always such a delight. And thank you for coming in and sharing what's going on with you, because I know there are people who either are watching this or who will watch this, and they'll go, wow, I'm going through that same thing too. And yes, it's if husband is not working, husband is a wonderful option. Making sure we hydrate. Yes, hydrate. I'm trying to take what I can from Bell Hook's work on love, What husband has with his new partner and what I have with my new partner is certainly loving, and there is certainly love involved. But whether we are in love with our respective partners remains to be seen. Ding, ding, ding. Right on the nose. Everyone told us that we had a very strong bond too, and that nobody expected us to separate. Yeah, it was a surprise to a lot of people. Definitely stealing husband. Well, I mean, to me, it, and it just kind of, it was like, I kept saying he was my husband. He was my husband. It's like, was my husband, husband. And the idea of him being an ex, because to me, he's not an ex because he's still a part of me and always will be. And we are connected by history. We are connected by our children, well, who are both grown men now. There will always be that thing that connects us. It's just we're not connected in that way now. So it is about being able to understand that, and there's a saying that people are in our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But we don't know which. And as we grow, as we evolve, maybe, that path runs together and maybe it doesn't. But that doesn't have to be, a reflection. It doesn't have to be about somebody being the bad one or somebody being the wrong one. And there's a lot of different cases. In general, when it's just, wow, we're not who we are. I wasn't who I was when we married, and that's okay. And being able to, and the day I married, I was certain what my life was going to be. And it was carved in stone. And then life happens. We grow, we evolve. I learned that the world was so much bigger than I thought. I learned about magic, and that I learned that I was a part of it. And that's not something he really resonates with. So the more that I found and explored and achieved, the more he felt that I was moving away from him, that I was leaving him behind. And he had reached a point because our sons were becoming grown, and it was like our sons didn't need him in the way that he thought. I didn't need him. I had become a doctor, which I hadn't realized how much that bothered him. He was always very supportive of me, but when he was honest with me, he said it did bother him because that meant I was far smarter than he was, that he was Mr. Doctor somebody. And he started to lose himself. And I would not have wanted that for him at all. And I will say that I love him. I'm no longer in love with him. And we both spoke, and it was funny because we decided that if we were to meet each other today, we wouldn't even date, which is really interesting. But I do love him. I'm just not in love with him and never will be again. And that connection that we have of the good that was a part of it. And most of the stuff that was not so good had to do with the fact that our contract was complete, but there was that desire to hold on to it even though it was done. And in our hearts, we both knew it. And, and it is that whole idea that, and there's also that social expectation. What is everybody going to think? And I'm glad that now people are less worried about that. What will the family think? No, we've got to stay together because the family will be upset. It's like, no, then let them be upset. Our families, and especially my in-laws, because they were completely shocked about it happening. The fact that, they were afraid that meant, like there was going to be anger and all this other stuff. But, we were able to connect. We were able to be there for each other, to co-parent in a cooperative way. There was no hatred. And the fact that, we both moved on. We took whatever we needed to learn from it. And then, because each and every one of us have our own path. And it's hard to say, people who want to find that forever love. I mean, first off, nothing's forever. Everything evolves. And maybe, two people stay together and maybe they don't. But it doesn't mean that there isn't love, respect, companionship, support. It just means that that person is now a friend, if that can be achieved. And, and that's something that each person has to figure out for themselves. I think the most loving thing we could have done for one another was separate. I think that's the case for a lot of couples where there's a genuine love for one another, even if they're no longer in love. Ding, ding, ding. Absolutely. And the hard part is a lot of times people outside, quite honestly, keeping it 100, full disclosure, at the last family gathering before I moved away from California, I actually had my ex-in-laws, some of them were coming up saying, well, we're still hoping you two can get together. And I said, that train has left the station a long time ago. That ship has sailed. No. Because to me, it was disrespectful to his wife. And yes, he met her prior to our marriage ending. And she was not the cause. She was an aspect. She was a variable in it, but she wasn't the cause. Our contract was complete. And like I said, I had received a premonition 10 years prior to that. Almost exactly 10 years prior to that. And the premonition was a very clear message. You will be married for 20 years, but not 21. And that hit on our 10th wedding anniversary. I didn't know what it meant. And like I said, I thought it meant that one of us was going to pass. Because at that time, I couldn't even envision my life without him. And now I can. And he is my friend. And that is something that really is important to me. But yes, family interaction and discussions and the thing is, the idea that no one owes anyone an explanation except for each other. Between you guys. That is, and I won't even say between the two of you, because now there's a lot of polyamorous relationships. So, for all the parties, the direct parties concerned, I figured that it was an explanation was due between the two of us and due to my sons. And that's it. Everybody else, it's like, well, this is our choice. Well, but why? Because it's what's right for us. Be very clear on who you owe an explanation to. And that is a very short list. Very similar situation between husband and I. We both felt that I had been growing rapidly and he was in a position where growth was far slower. Particularly spiritually. And the thing is that actually is something as a part of those who are on spiritual pathways. It pretty much is fairly consistent. And I've even seen it in situations where both people are spiritually minded, but there's still that separation point that happens. I feel that I'm finally becoming what I want to be. I'm changing my name. Ding ding. Welcome to that party. Studying, going to have to stay with my Nana while my partner moves, but happy to take steps forward to look after myself and nurture my genuine self and genuine interests. Something to leave a smile before I sneak off. I still envy your hair. Oh, it is the hair, the braids. I do love the braids. I wish I could get my hair to work with me for that style. Get a wig! I mean, it's just coloring and extensions. So, but yes, once I had my hair green, which, and that's another thing. It's like my husband, he goes, nose ring, green braids. Well, okay. Yeah, husband's partner I sometimes feel jealous towards because she's in a far better place financially, yet perhaps even spiritually, but I have to remember that she isn't the cause of anything between husband and I. In fact, she cares for me, asks how I am, and wishes for me to succeed. Oh my God. My husband's wife, when I was living on the mountain, if she heard that there was intense weather or something happening, she would message me that morning and ask if I'm okay. She would ask me. At one point, I was over visiting my ex-mother-in-laws, and they were there, and my car was acting up. Without even hesitating, she picked up the keys to her car, said, "Look, I won't need my car this week. You take it." So she is an absolutely delightful woman. She cares for me, asks how I am, and wishes for me to succeed. And beneath the moments of jealousy, I care for her too. I want her to be happy with him. And it's okay to have that be something that evolves. At a point where it's like, okay, this was a good thing. And for my husband, by nature, he was not someone who was comfortable being alone. And my evolution was taking me places that he couldn't go. He needed somebody who could be nice and settled and all of that stuff. And, once we divorced, I went to Africa. I went to, Central America. I spent time in the Amazon. I did all kinds of things. I had the home of my dreams in a cabin in the woods on a mountain surrounded by trees next to a river. I wouldn't have had any of that. Honestly, if I hadn't divorced, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be streaming. My life would have taken a totally different direction, and none of us would have ever met. So, yeah. Was it hard at times? Yes. Was it painful at times? Yes. Did I cry at times? Yes. And the whole time, I was being transformed into something new. And when I left and, I ended up in the cabin in the woods, that was when I was 50, and that was the first time I had been alone. And I loved it. There's something amazing about being able to spend time alone. So I am so, so proud of you, my dear Willow, because you are beginning an amazing adventure that is going to open up so much for you. And I'm really proud of you for being able to hold this in this way. I love people who care for us despite them owing nothing to us all. Kindness is everything. Absolutely. And it is about being able to be very gentle with yourself and real in what you feel. I mean, yes, even though on a spiritual level, my higher self said, no, this is what was meant to be. This is what you're doing. I mean, I would have never even written my book if I had stayed married. So even though intellectually and with that from that spiritual intellectual place, I knew that this was the right thing. And I still went through anger, I still went through bargaining, I still went through depression. I went to acceptance, then I went back to anger. But when we can allow ourselves to kind of flow through and to be able to accept the moment that in this moment, I feel whatever. And to totally accept that whatever you feel is okay. We just made the agreement that if for either one of us, if it was one of those days that, we weren't feeling very grounded, we weren't feeling very settled, and we were feeling kind of feisty about it, we agreed not to talk. And if we had arranged to speak, we could let each other know, you know what, today's not a really good day for us to talk. Let's reschedule. And we always honored that. And we never asked the other person to explain why. It was like, oh, okay, let me know when you're available. It's more my hands, if I must be honest. I can only manage about 3 braids of that side shorter in length before my wrists and hands go. So, do you like being able to use us? Well, and like I said, there is no way on God's green earth that I would ever braid my own hair. I do not have the focus. There was an amazing woman whose name was Ninja. Her name actually was Ninja. And she could braid an entire head of hair in like 5 hours. She could do braiding like this in 5 hours. And she is absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome. Anybody who is in San Jose, California, or near San Jose, California, if you want to find the most amazing person to braid hair, it's Ninja. I will give her information because she's absolutely awesome. Hi, I was stuck in an RP negating on behalf of a dragon, else in the RPs I'd be roasted alive. Oh, yes. Sometimes you gotta negotiate with the dragon. Negotiations were intense. Fire Nutter, welcome in, my dear. Oh, I'm hoping to go to Kingston, Jamaica. Excellent place to get hair braided. And also, because I also had my hair braided when I was in Africa. And I found out when I was 21 that I'm mixed race. Good for you. And that's another aspect of myself that has yet to be explored. One day I'll learn more about myself and my heritage beyond my white presenting body and the British-Irish culture in which I was raised and expected to stay within. First off, I was born in Newfoundland, which means there's that whole Celtic, Irish, Gaelic type of thing going. But yes, and that is a big thing to learn at 21. And it is about peeling back those layers to not only discover what are those genetic pieces, but what do they mean to you? How do they resonate within you? And that is a wonderful thing to study. I think communicating with husband, then we're not doing well, and a very good idea. I'll mention it to him. Yeah. And it is, because there are always those times when it's like, I'm not exactly feeling very balanced today. Something will come up, and either because of the fact that the separation, while, having somebody else involved on his side, but there's still a lot of emotional stuff where he felt, and for us to be able to have the conversations that we had, where he honestly felt that my growing was my abandoning him, that I was leaving him behind, that he didn't mean enough to me for me to be willing to change, or actually more specifically not change. That he thought that he came first, and he always believed that from the way I would treat him. So, because suddenly I was looking outside, and I was looking towards myself and what made me happy, and all of that stuff. And it was just the time for that to happen in my life. But, it wasn't just, oh, well, he left me and all of this. No, there's a lot of layers to it. So there were points when I felt betrayed, and there were points when he felt betrayed. And if it was a situation where those thoughts were coming in, that wouldn't have been a good day to talk. When we could sit and both go into that place and go, oh, all right. And, it is about, because the thing is, you can It is reconnection successful. Okay, so are we back? Someone tell me we're back. I think communicating with husband when we're not doing well is a very good idea. Yeah, I'll mention it to him. I had to negotiate the dragon to get a job. Boop, 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 boop. To get a job, negotiate with the chief guild for their food, and negotiate with a Draws blacksmith for the dragon to have armor with renewable warranty. See, it's all about the warranty. Negotiate with the bank to open up a bank account on behalf of the dragon, and when the threat of being roasted alive, they can be a Karen. Yep. Did something happen? Yay! I see ya. Silver Architect. Who is an absolutely amazing all-around person, who is the dadarino of our wonderful little baby boy, who is, a beautiful ginger, at least at this point. My oldest son came into this world as a ginger, and then it calmed down later. But yes, we are on the laptop. The laptop that is old. It's very nice. It's very, for an old thing, and gotta resonate with the old things. For an old thing, it is very, very cool. And I it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, please work. Every time I hear someone say dragon, I wait for the nut joke to come in. Ellie. Oh, funny. So, as we consider those things that are huge changes in our life, any big change, even one that you like, is going to create stress. It's going to have its own grief process. And like I said, even if it's something that you like, because of the fact that it can be stressful, it took a while for me to see my divorce, to really own that my divorce was a good thing. And being able to go through, but I had to go through the process of accepting it and to grieve it because it was a big change. Am I glad that I did? Quite honestly, yes. Because it let us both be free to move forward. And sometimes it is hard to move forward. It's hard to let go of something that is familiar, because the things that are familiar are safe and they help keep us safe. And every opportunity we have to step outside that safety zone, with Silver, having a new baby, and yes, there is, even if you have older kids, each new child is a new adventure, because it's like, oh wow, pics into Discord. Yes, we will definitely check those out later, because being on a laptop, I don't have the Discord set up to be able to share a screen. But it is, everything holds that chance of not being okay, of an adventure, of we don't know how it's going to work out. Everything from child rearing to starting a new life alone, as well as streaming. Every time you stream, you have no idea really what's going to manifest. Who's going to come into the stream? Is it going to be okay? Are people going to act up? Whatever. But it is a matter of trusting that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. And that's an important thing to remember. Little man is starting to learn to walk. Oh, I'm telling you, when the kids learn to walk, life as we know it is changed forever. And walking assisted, yet wobbly, with one of the baby push-along toys. Oh, that's so cool. And I guess in a lot of ways, when we step out into that uncharted territory, it's like, in the old sailor maps, the ancient ones, everything that was known was labeled, and everything that lay beyond what was known, they would write, beyond here there be monsters. And whenever we take a new step towards something, whenever we leave that comfort zone, yeah, beyond here there may be monsters and stuff we don't know and stuff we're trying to manage. But you've got this. You've been brought to this moment for a reason. And I'm a firm believer in that. That every moment we have, we've been brought to for a reason. And sometimes those reasons can be really, really difficult to accept. because life is fun till it isn't, and it sucks till it doesn't. And being able to identify that just because something sucks doesn't mean that it may not be the best thing that ever happened to us. Or at the very least, it may be something that helps us. And it may, and stuff that's not even, that we can't even see. You could experience something now that totally sucks, but then down the road, and at my age, yeah, hindsight is 20/20. And I have known of so many moments in my life looking back that even at the moment where the thing that I thought was the worst thing that could happen, it ended up leading me someplace that allowed me to evolve, that opened up new doorways for me. So being able to keep the perspective, it's not about pretending that everything is okay, because a lot of times all is not well in the kingdom. We're all going to experience those days and those times. And as far as I'm concerned, it's absolutely crazy to pretend like we don't. It's tough. It's difficult. But difficult isn't impossible. And challenging isn't impossible. I will say that it may be unpleasant as all get out. So, we can definitely agree on that. It's like, oh my God, can this not be easier? Yeah, we can experience that and at the same time still go, okay, yes, this sucks right now, and I have no idea on the infinite possibilities that could come from it, which we ultimately have to see what happens. But I can tell you flat out that looking back, those moments that just sucked beyond the telling of it, that I hated beyond life, when I look back, it turns out that was the doorway to something amazing in my life. And like I said, if I was still married, you would have never met me. I would have never started streaming. So, yeah. If you want to deal with a Karen dragon, be like, serve me, or you roasted alive, I was highly demanding. Then tell me you have an energy left for a joke. Yep. And Bladella. Hey, Bladella. There have certainly been moments recently that have sucked beyond life. Yes. I'm very glad to have met you. Oh, Willow, me too. Well, if you'd like to roast me, then I'd like to say get yourself ready to be roasted as well. Yes, but hey, put down the weapons. We're all friends here. You guys can roast each other over in the Discord. So, and it is. And it takes a lot of pressure to make a diamond. And the greatest steel is forged in the hottest fire. So the process of becoming more is very rarely pleasant. And being able to grow as a person almost never happens with anything that's pleasant. We do most of our best growing when we're uncomfortable, when, we don't get to feel that safety. We don't get to coast. Y'all can shout out in the chat. When you consider the moments that you grew the most, how many times has that been when you made it through a tremendously difficult time and you somehow got out the other side and said, dang, that sucked, but I made it. Because we all have those moments where it's like, in that moment, we don't know how we're going to manage it. We don't know what we're going to do. And yet somehow we make it through. And that's why I say that if, you have overcome 100% of everything you've ever faced. If you are here in this life, you've overcome 100%. And it may not have been pretty, and it may not have been the solution you wanted, but you did make it through and moved forward. And if you can do that with 100% of everything that ever challenged you, there's nothing ahead of you that is more powerful than you are or stronger than you are. It just feels like it in the moment. The process of becoming more is very rarely pleasant. I love that. It is that struggle. I mean, as an example, caterpillar becomes a butterfly inside the chrysalis. And if a chrysalis is split open, at pretty much the caterpillar completely deconstructs and is reconstructed as a butterfly. That's its nature. That's what it does. And if the chrysalis is opened, the butterfly dies because it is still in that deconstruction place. And if, let's say the butterfly is fully butterflied, if the chrysalis is opened still too early, even though the butterfly is fully formed, it will die. Because it is the struggle of leaving the chrysalis that is what allows the butterfly to live. It's that challenge. It is that stress actually is necessary. So being able to understand that, being able to do something and achieve something and reach that next level and break through that ceiling, more than likely it's going to suck. But life sucks life is fun until it isn't, and it sucks until it doesn't. And at some point, what you're going through will leave you with nothing but a sense of accomplishment. Let's see. All pizza starts with dough that needs to rise to greatness. And we've got our wonderful, amazing J. Stun Z, the king of New York, even a very wet New York, the reigning monarch of Staten Island, even kind of a sloshy Staten Island. And I will not hear anything to the contrary. J. Stun Z, my OBJ Stun Zobi, in all things electronic, all things Staten Island, all things Discord, all things OBS. He is absolutely epic, and he is an amazing friend who will be my podcast partner one day. Keep that pending. Dr. Haiku! Dr. Haiku, hello, my dear. I'm going on the theory that I'll live forever. Statistically, I'm 100% correct so far. Dr. Haiku, can you please put that in inspiring thoughts in my Discord? I love this so much. Okay, this immediately reminds me of the old joke about, a guy falls off a 100-story building. And around the 50th floor, somebody leans out and says, "Are you okay?" And the guy says back, "I'm doing great so far." Ooh, spicy. Oh, I love spicy things. Hot, hot, hot. OMG, lol. I wasn't expecting a spaghetti. I did not think it had flames of hidden inside. Where the taste bud fire department. I like reframing things that we see as negative moments, which are difficult. Just because the emotions feel negative doesn't inherently mean that they are negative. Ding, 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 100%. The pain doesn't last, and we grow from it. Yep. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And being able to accept, it's like, okay, well, this is a thing in this moment that kind of sucks. I don't like it, and when I get to the other side of it, I'm going to be more. I'm going to realize how strong I am. I'm going to realize how determined I am. I'm going to realize how smart I am, and that I am more than I could even imagine I was before this happened. Everything is about us growing and moving forward and becoming that diamond. And and the whole thing is that, who we're meant to be is an ever-moving goalpost. Because our vision of everything we want to be is only based on really what we know now. And as we move through life, quite honestly, years ago, even 5 years ago, I would not have envisioned that I was going to leave my mountain and move to New York. There was absolutely no way that I was going to do that. I had no vision of that. My goals in life, my aspirations, my goal in life was that I would retire, I would buy an RV, I'd get a Rottweiler whose name was going to be Carl, I would have I would probably have my cat, and I would spend my golden years, my retirement, traveling all over the place, driving up into Canada, driving across the US, and just rambling around in my RV. I set that plan into motion 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. And that changed 2 years ago. And suddenly it was like, oh, wow, there's more. But we never know about the more that exists until we start getting close to it, until we start having those experiences. Searing Rage, sup. Welcome in, my dear. If you choking. If you are a streamer, please feel free to talk about your stream in the chat. Plug your ears, Jay. And it would be lovely to get to know you. And welcome. Oh gosh, my eyes are watering up, blinking a few times. Yes, hot spicy stuff is it'll do it. That and it makes your nose run. I love Katrina and Animal Crossing. The bad times are just times that are bad. The time is bad, not necessarily the emotion. Nice, I like that. That feels bad. That it feels bad doesn't mean that it will always be bad, or that the bad time will always be viewed as bad. Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. I love that. If you could put that over in the Discord, inspiring thoughts. I like that. It is about understanding that the moment is not the whole thing. That what you do is not what you are. It's simply the choice you made based on the information and knowledge and experience you had up to that moment. And when we make a choice, to me, there's no such thing really as a bad choice. What it is a choice that gave you an outcome that you were not looking for in that circumstance. That exact same choice could be the perfect choice in a different circumstance. So being able to view our lives as things that happen, that events, snapshots of a moment that passes. And it is. The spicy spaghetti makes me hotter than when I see Jessica Rabbit. Much love to Jessica Rabbit. Oh, yes. What was it? Kathleen Turner, I think, did the voice for Jessica Rabbit. Oh, Kathleen Turner is amazing. I really like her as an actress. Classic actress. Right up there with Audrey Hepburn. Oh, love me some Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn, Cicely Tyson, Kathleen Turner. There are some actresses I truly admire. I want to be like them when I grow up. And I'm old. So, being able to identify that the things you're experiencing are in this moment. And yes, they can be really hard. And if you're experiencing some very difficult times right now, I'm really sorry. And that's why we make sure that we keep a space that is safe for people to be able to, somebody asks a question. It's like, wow, I'm dealing with this. I just want to ask for opinions or input or support or, because people in this stream, there are so many people who've experienced so many really phenomenal things. So in most cases, there's at least a couple of people who can identify with what everybody's going through. Now, no one will ever know exactly what you're going through because they're not you. And being able to say, well, I've had a similar experience, and while it's not the same, I can still feel for you. I'm sorry you're going through it. Here's how I made it through. If that helps, cool. And being able to talk safely about the things. And we work very hard. My mods are amazing, and we work really hard to be able to allow people to have a space that they can ask their questions, that and honestly, I believe everyone has their own answer inside of them for everything that they're going through. Everybody has their own answer inside of them. They just need the right questions to reach it. And my answers are those that have worked for me, or that I learned, okay, now I know that that's not the answer. This is closer to the answer. But they're my answers. And they may work for you guys. If they do, yay. But if not, understand that you have that wisdom inside of you. You have that tenacity inside of you. You've got that creativity inside of you. You've got that strength inside of you. There are so many things that you've got going for you. And yeah, sometimes it's hard to see them, because sometimes we just look at the stuff that we're doing wrong. And sometimes there are other people who are very happy to let us know that, if we forget all the stuff we got wrong, they're very happy to remind us. It's like, no. Being able to give yourself credit where credit is due, and you're due a lot of credit for a lot of things. You've gotten far more right in your life than you've ever gotten wrong. And I will stand by that. You have gotten more right than you've ever gotten wrong. It's just we remember the wrong stuff because, again, there are people who are happy to remind us of that. But when you look at all of the things that you have achieved, the level that you've gotten to, the life that you've had, the fact that you have overcame 100% of everything, that's some pretty impressive stuff. You should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. Being able to, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have the facts of life. Old TV show, Google it. But the idea is you allow yourself to grow, and accepting that, some of the stuff is going to be easy, some is going to be hard. Some is going to be comfortable, and some is going to be decidedly uncomfortable. But every single one of them is making you more. Every single experience is evolving you into who you're ultimately meant to be in this life. And the coolest part about that is you get to choose that. Follow a dream. Decide, maybe it's deciding that it's time to move on in your life on your own. And that is a very big thing to step up into. And if it's that point for you, because, just because someone, there's a saying, just because someone's a part of your past does not mean they're meant to be a part of your future. And a spiritual contract can become complete. At some point, they all are. And being able to say, all right, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to take that next step. And frankly, I don't know where it's taking me. The morning that I woke up, I got into my car, had all my stuff packed, had my bear packed in it, and I started driving from California, and the point that I left the state of California, and I'm driving across country, heading to New York. And the whole time I'm driving along and going, I have no real idea as to what's going to happen. And it took me a while to figure out that was a good thing. Or I had to remind myself that that was a good thing. Stephen had an upsetting thing happen to him yesterday. Oh, what has upset the world of our wonderful Stephen? Oh, you can share whether you wish and all of that. Just make sure when you're typing, because if it's too big, the chat will gobble it up and it goes into another universe. So put it in sections. But if you want to share what happened, please feel free to do so. But our beautiful Stephen, who is going to be getting ready. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Today is the last day of September. Tomorrow is the 1st of October. And that means, officially, we have 3 months left of 2023. So if there's anything that you've been, wanting to set into motion, I mean, maybe at the beginning of the year, you decided that, there was this definite thing you were going to definitely get done. And now, maybe it's like, it hasn't gotten done. That doesn't mean that you should give up on it. Well, I'll deal with that in January. No. Get all the background stuff done. Do the research you need to do. Maybe take the first few steps. The best part about making a dream happen is the fact that we choose it. You can't lose a dream unless you let it go. So, and by the way, you can have as many dreams as you want. You don't have to pick one. I had somebody who asked me, they said that they wanted to learn what their purpose in life was. And I said, well, pick one. In fact, pick 2. And they looked at me like, what do you mean, pick my purpose in life? I said, yeah. It's a big time saver if you choose it. Then you don't have to worry about somebody else telling you what it is, which no one can really do that anyway. And it's like, well, why do you want to find your purpose in life? It's like, well, I want to live my life purpose. So I asked, how do you know you're not? Like, it's like there's that idea of this big grandiose thing. Well, maybe it's not a grandiose thing. Maybe it's just a regular, gentle love of life and acceptance that sometimes it sucks. And embracing the fact that it's not always going to suck. So being able to just flow with it, to decide whatever your dreams are, you get to pick as many as you want. Some of them are going to be big and involved. Some of them may just be small and normal. Some of them may be something that everybody else would take for granted. And yet, you can do that. Let's see. Stage 1 of eating spicy foods is bliss for me. Stage 2, realize the spice and asking for a fire department for the taste buds. Joking. Stage 4, be like, tongue is roadkill, thinking maybe it wasn't a smart idea eating something that spicy. You know what? It is the path. It's its own grief. The phases of grief. Denial, anger, oh, why did I do that? I'm so dumb. Bargaining, please stop burning, depression, oh, this is just gonna suck, especially when it comes out. And acceptance, well, at least it was tasty. Well, I took him on mommy and son date. We went to McDonald's to eat and he played on the structure. Cool. I was planning on taking to see Paw Patrol movie. We got there like 20 minutes before it was supposed to start so we could get our popcorn, candy, and drinks. Absolutely. They told us it was going to be about 10 to 15 minutes before they could let us buy tickets because they were having audio issues. So we went to a store across the road to kill that time. We got back and got turned away again. Oh, Stephen was so upset he started crying when we walked out of the theater. Oh, our poor angel. And my wonderful, wonderful Bladella. I know that you walked him through that. See, because the thing is that there's always going to be things that happen that are disappointing. And my guess is that, you being the amazing mom that you are, to help Stephen understand, well, yeah, there are times when disappointing things happen. And it sucks. And allowing him to express in whatever way he can that he's upset, that it's disappointing, and to learn that there's something on the other side of the disappointment. It's like, well, we can't do this today. It'll have to be another day. And what else can we do? So while I'm so sorry he went through that, I am so happy that he has you to help him learn how to navigate those types of experiences, because these are the tools that will help him all through his life. Because Lord knows some of the best folks out there are people who understand that life is going to suck sometimes, and how to accept it and how to manage it. Because when people get all wrapped up in, like, I didn't get what I wanted, and, stomping feet and all that stuff. And Hennessy Major, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon to you too, my dear. It's so wonderful to have you here. I recently you saw your nephew try learning to take his first few steps for the first time. Oh, I'm sure I got stared at when he started crying. Oh, sweetie, I would be willing to bet, because the thing is, his reaction was a perfectly natural and appropriate reaction. He expressed disappointment. And I'm sure that, there were other kids who were really upset. And the thing is, when people stared at you, they saw an amazing mother at work. Maybe they weren't staring at Stephen. They were staring at the awesome way that you managed that you held that space for him, and that you kind of, were able to help him navigate that. Hola! Hola! How are you? I am fine. I am well. It's so nice to have you here. And, but yeah, his reaction was 100% normal and 100% appropriate. And the fact that he can be as honest with expressing a perfectly natural level of disappointment, that's something that is a good thing. I'm good. My mom just brought me to the police station. Well, hopefully it's because someone found your bicycle. So at least now I have it out of myself. Well, I think that there is always an interesting day when it involves going to a police station. So I hope everyone is okay. No, she asked me to tell cops about the man. Yep. And, and good for you to talk about stuff. People around here, unless they've experienced someone with autism, then people tend to judge. Well, you know what? It's just like Dr. Seuss said. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And on that note, we are going to say farewell. We will be back on Monday. I will be in my new digs by that time, so you guys get to see the new place. And I will be streaming on Kick in 30 minutes. I will be streaming on Kick at 6:30, so y'all can come over there. It was so lovely to see you this evening. Oh, Willow, it's always so lovely. And hey, keep us posted how things are going, okay? So, everybody, take care. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. We will be back on Monday, same bad time, same bad station, with my full computer, and then we can get all the music and everything. Until then, the laptop is... I'm going to finish up studying. Thank you ever so much for your kindness. Oh, have a lovely time zone, friends. Same to you, my dear. So, if you want to come over to Kick, you can go to kick.com. If you have an account, just look up TH3 Gaming Doc, or you can sign up for it. It's just as easy as this. And until next time, please remember that you are an amazing being that has overcome all kinds of stuff, and there's no reason to believe that whatever you're going through, you cannot overcome that as well. Please remember that the process of overcoming stuff is often really stressful, but then again, it takes a lot of pressure to make a diamond, and y'all are diamonds in the making. And please remember that you are the only you in all the universe. You're the only you that's ever been, and the only you that will ever be. And what that does is it makes you special, it makes you sacred, and most of all, it makes you necessary. Because, as the only you in all of the universe wouldn't be the same or complete without you. So everyone have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. May you walk gently with the world. May the world walk gently with you. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. So have a good day. Learn something new. I'm proud of you and I love you. All right, everybody, no love train because that's on the other computer. So we will simply say bye.